is that all of this, the movies, the ads, the cartoons, are all a part of something called predictive programming.
Oh no. We live in an era where there's so much knowledge available to us. All we gotta do is just reach out with the tip of our fingers and we can learn so much. But yet, some people choose at every turn to believe it's just the dumbest, most idiotic explanations to everything, which really pisses me off more than it should. Shane Dawson, on the other hand, man, he's not even bothered with all that stuff. He loves all these crazy theories. He can't get enough of them. It's really become his thing over the years. He loves all these spooky theories so much that he made a whole makeup palette inspired by them and sold it to his viewers over an 8-part series. There's a playlist he made of all his theory-related videos. I want you to guess, how many of them do you think there are in the comments? Come on, type it right now, don't cheat. 3, 2, 1. There are 137 of them. 137, that's an insane number right there. I mean, what an accomplishment. I guess. Though, to be fair, half of them have been deleted. Probably because of all the crazy stuff that he says. Now listen, the other day I was kind of bored and I went through this playlist. I clicked on this video, which was uploaded in 2018, only 2 years ago, if you don't count last year. And then I just went to this random point in it because the beginning didn't really interest me and I didn't feel like watching the whole thing. And man, I really can't express how instantly I regretted that click. Because immediately afterwards, I was just attacked with this whole pile of things, this spew of absurd claims and theories that are just so far detached from anything to do with reality that it just left me sitting there, baffled. Like, how can a man seriously stand there in front of me with a straight face and say all these things as if they make any sort of sense? How is this real? I just immediately knew that I had to talk about it. So this segment, the one that I stumbled upon, ties into this whole thing that Shane calls predictive planting or programming or whatever. I let him describe what it is.
Here is the definition of predictive programming. It's a subtle form of psychological conditioning provided by the media to acquaint the public with planned societal changes to be implemented by our leaders. If and when these changes are put through, the public will already be familiarized with them and accept them.
Now, believe it or not, this small clip shows us right from the get-go in a very subtle way a lot of the problems we're gonna have to deal with while watching this video. First of all, I want you to listen to his tone and his wording. He calls this a definition. This is a definition of a thing that exists. And not only does it exist, he makes sure to deliberately sound very worried about it. Oh no, everybody, this thing right here, it's real and it's a huge danger to you and everyone around you. So, you better watch out. Some people might claim that there is something a tad manipulative in presenting it in that way, but I'm definitely not one of those people, because that would be a bit mean. Another problem that shows up here and in the rest of this video is Shane's horrible dog shit sources. They're definitely not great, especially when you consider the very serious subjects that he's going to be talking about in just a second. For the most part in this video, his source is just another YouTube channel that has a video with like 200 and something views. I mean, where the hell did he even find this thing? Here specifically though, with this definition, we're met with a quote by a man called Alan Watt. Not Alan Watts, the British philosopher, no. We're talking about Alan Watt without an S. Who is he? Well, he's a man who I think recently passed away, and he has a website that's called Cutting Through the Matrix. This is how his website looks like. Wow, there's really a lot to take in. The colors are just kind of beautiful. There's a written bit that starts off with the words, "For those who wish information on reptilian people," which is always a great sign for a very reputable source. Now, if you want to learn some good things instead of all this garbage, you should check out today's sponsor, Skillshare. I've used Skillshare way before they've even given me money, and I think they're great. It's awesome that a place like that exists. Skillshare, as you may know, is an online learning community with thousands of inspiring classes for creators. They have classes on animation, film and video, photography, and more. Now, this is a bit of a secret, but I've been recently thinking of making a Pinely-themed comic book for you guys, and this class right here, Drawing Comics, A Beginner's Guide, has been an awesome place to learn all about it. Skillshare is curated specifically for learning, meaning there are no ads, and they're always launching new premium classes, so you can stay focused and follow wherever your creativity takes you, buddy. And check this out, they got a nice deal for you guys. The first 1,000 of my subscribers to click the link in the description will get a 1-month free trial of Skillshare. I recommend you click it right now. Now, why is Shane talking about this predictive whatever thing? Shane in this video is essentially bringing up theories that claim that for years the media, or I don't know, some other bad entity, has planted little bits and pieces in cartoons that have predicted the events of... Man, I don't know if I can say this without getting this video demonetized, so I'll just use the non-American way of saying dates. I'm gonna read the month second and call it 1109. Either way, I'm not talking about the actual events themselves. I'm talking about a man talking about theories that have something to do with the actual events. So I think we have enough degrees of separation for this to be alright. Okay? Okay. So Shane essentially says that for years, children's media, specifically cartoons, have been essentially deliberately predicting these horrible events. They knew that they're gonna happen. And to prove his point, he decides to bring the dumbest examples anyone could ever bring.
And most of these were in children's TV shows. Yeah, that aired back in 1994.
Did you see that? Did you notice that smug little yeah at the end, as if this completely proved his point? This doesn't prove jack shit.
Yeah.
Proves that you love fear-mongering, maybe. Oh, I can't believe it. This Fantastic Four episode showcased a bunch of aliens invading New York. Out of all places. You know, New York, maybe the most famous city in the world. And in New York, for some reason, the animators decided to show the aliens attacking, out of all the monuments they could have attacked, the most famous one at the time. Yeah, no, if this isn't some big scheme right here, I don't know what is. Probably fucking nothing. Let's not mention the fact that in this episode, we can see them attacking the whole of New York. Makes sense, considering this is an incursion. There's a bit where they attack Central Park. People flee from the Solomon R. Guggenheim Museum as it is destroyed. Geez, I wonder, why didn't you show the bit where the Guggenheim Museum is getting obliterated in the episode? Could it be because in real life, nothing happened to it? And it doesn't really fit the stupid agenda that you're trying to push? Or is it because the 200 view video you found this clip on didn't show that, and you didn't really feel like looking into this a bit more? Man, I wonder which one is worse.
And then this one in 1995.
We are under attack! If anyone is out there listening, get out of town before it gets to you! And I'm out of here.
So I decided to check the source material of this one too. I actually watched this show, and it's pretty nice. This is from a cartoon called The Tick, episode 12, season 1. In this episode, just to give you some context, just so you fully understand how ridiculous this all is that we're even having this discussion in the first place, a character called the PROTO clown, who's like a clown version / parody of the Hulk, goes around New York City destroying absolutely everything that's in its path. Every single thing. Not only what you've shown in this clip, while shouting, "Clown smash." Let me repeat that. He's shouting, "Clown smash." He's shouting, "Clown smash."
Yeah.
Wow, you know what? I sure was a skeptic at first, but I really gotta hand it to you, man. You've really uncovered a big scheme here. The creators of Clown Hulk must have been in pretty close contact with the US government before releasing this episode. It's just too obvious. This proto-clown fella has the CIA written all over him. The really impressive part about all of this is that these examples actually manage to get dumber and dumber by the minute. I don't know how he does it, because I for some reason thought we hit rock bottom with fucking proto-clown. But I guess I was just wrong.
This next one is more subtle, but really freaked me out.
Well, you're stupider!
Yeah, a poster of a tower on fire that says coming soon, which is even creepier because this cartoon came out only a few months before the internet.
This kind of pissed me off, so I turned on my face cam for this. I'm even wearing my Mr. YouTuber mask. Where do I even begin? This is a fake movie poster that shows, let's count this together, It shows one singular building on fire. And it's just on fire. That's all it is. It's just a building on fire. Yeah, this episode was released in April 2001, but so what? It's just a building on fire. There's barely any connection here. Here's the poster for the movie Die Hard. As you can see, it also showcases a building on fire. As far as we know, maybe Johnny Bravo decided to reference that. Or not, because it's just a building on fire. There are like a billion movie posters with stuff on fire or stuff exploding. Are we also gonna claim that Die Hard predicted the events of... What? What? Really? That too?
So 9/11 has been predicted in movie posters, advertisements.
The movie's plot literally just shows Nakatomi Plaza exploding. It's just the movie's plot. The real building's in LA. Well, where do we even draw the line in this whole thing? What's a prediction and what's just a thing that exists? So many movies show stuff exploding in them. Are they all predicting a thing we don't know is gonna happen? Why can't anything just be a thing in itself? In all these theory videos of his, he speaks in this sort of tone of like, oh, wow, look guys, look at what I found on the internet. It's not me saying any of this stuff. It's just this guy with 2,000 subs and 200 views. Don't hold me accountable for spreading any of this ridiculous nonsense to an audience of 32 million impressionable teenagers who are now in the early stages of developing some of their main core ideas and beliefs in life. Oh no, I just saw this guy who, compared to what I'm doing, was essentially talking to the fucking wall telling it all of this stuff. No, this is ridiculous. You can't just spread all this poison around and act like everything's cool. You need to be held accountable for the things that you say, because at the end of the day, you're the one letting a whole boatload of people know about it. Check what he says in this next bit. It's one of the dumbest things I've ever heard in my whole life.
But it goes back even farther than I thought. There was an ad in the newspaper in 1968 by a group of realtors where they have two tall buildings with a plane about to fly in.
1968. So this ad that was just made by a group of random realtors was released 5 whole years before the towers were even built. Before they were even built. They were simply just not around at that point. These two buildings that are in this picture have just nothing to do with anything. And he shows us in this video anyways. Why?
Now the ad was to show, look how big we're gonna make these skyscrapers. Literally a plane could go into them. And that's the picture that they made.
So wait a second. Does he just choose to give out the dumbest explanation to things on purpose? Let's think about, let's take a moment. Let's just think about what he just said. These skyscrapers are so big, a plane could go, it's not going into them. It's flying next to them. Obviously. What kind of measurement system is that? Oh man, this house looks pretty big. But I wonder how many planes can we fit into it? No one thinks like that. Someone probably just took this picture and thought it was cool. It gives off big city vibes. You got skyscrapers, the planes indicate that there's an airport nearby. Commercial air travel became popular in like the late 50s. So maybe they were still hyped about it. Who knows? I don't know what they were up to around that time. This kind of stuff really gets to me because we're not talking about one of his crappy movies. This is way more serious than that. He's deluding his audience into believing all this dangerous stuff. I don't get how these videos are even up. They were uploaded so recently as well, and he had the gall to complain when they got demonetized. Like, dude, can you listen to what you're saying?
I know what you're thinking, Shane, this isn't a theory. Yes, it happened. People were predicting all over the place.
No, this is definitely not what I'm thinking. I mean, it is just theories, and all of your examples to prove that they're not theories suck ass. They suck big, massive balls. This little fact may seem a bit unrelated, but I'm Jewish. I've said it in my videos in the past, and every time I get some really awful comments about it. But my family, my great-grandparents, have suffered a great deal from people who believed in all kinds of stupid theories. Now, I'm not saying in any way that Shane is promoting that specific branch of theories. I'm not even saying that I think that he believes in it. I'm sure he doesn't. But you can't ignore the fact that believing in these stupid fucking 11 truther theories can serve as some sort of gateway to believing in even more dangerous stuff. I actually know people who started off by believing in all this stupid stuff that Shane is talking about in his videos, and then went on to believe in another stupid thing, and a more stupid thing, and a more stupid thing. The stuff that Shane is talking about in this segment is more than just silly cartoon-related theories. No, it's serious shit. It's stuff to do with actual real tragedies. The things that you say can actually very negatively affect the people who watch your videos. The 30 million people who watch this fucking video, who I'm guessing a lot of them might have been underage at the time. I never get this upset in my videos, but I honestly have zero tolerance for this kind of stuff. It's just honestly very, very irresponsible. What is Shane even trying to say? Honestly, let's just take a moment to think about it. Is he saying that the idea that a tragedy like that could happen was planted in cartoons so people would just be okay about it? How in the world could that even work? In what universe would that ever be something that people are cool with? In the video, he talks about the people who are behind all this stuff as if they're some kind of genius puppet masters. But a smart person would never come up with a stupid plan like that. This is just the kind of thing a random idiot on the internet would come up with after seeing one of those, I don't know, The Simpsons are predicting the future BuzzFeed articles. In the cartoons, we can see everyone being absolutely terrified when everything's blowing up around them. So saying that an idea was planted to make everyone be more comfortable with something this horrible happening is just a big hot plate of nonsense. Every day we wake up and we have a choice. We can choose if today we're just gonna be a whole bunch of dumbasses or not. Now, I'm not saying you should believe everything that you're told and never be skeptical and be some kind of sheep or whatever, but make sure that what you do believe in makes some sort of sense. Because I'd say that believing in some random junk that a guy on the internet said is probably an even worse case of believing everything that you're told. Hey, hope you liked this video, and if you want me to talk about some of Shane's other theory-related videos, please do let me know, because there's so many of them, and this was pretty fun, so I'd definitely be down to tackle this kind of thing again. If you reach the end of this video, try to sneak in the word spooky in your comment, and either way, goodbye.